first impression of Jim, big guy, big presence, lots of luggage. I found out later that it was one of his typical trips, and he was going to make 4 or 5 stops in 3 different countries over the course of 2 weeks, so that explains the luggage.
Working with Jim for all these years, I always admire his high EQ, as he always takes things when they come and didn't get annoyed even when things turn the wrong way.
But thinking back about the first time we met, I think it was a restaurant in Hamburg, Germany, and you had your whole family with you.
Basically who's that guy who everybody wants to hang out with, right? And you can see him from every corner in the room, but you are way more than that. You are a very warm person, very social, you love to make friends. And I think that has been the key of your success as president of USAPEEC.
And right after my check-in, I went at the bar, and there, surrounded by 20 or more people, there was the big man. What immediately hit me was your magnetic personality. Everyone was around you and listening to you. That was impossible not to notice. But then, even more surprising was your laughter and your ability to put everyone at ease, including me. And then, it's when I said to myself, boy, I need to know that man.
A gentle giant with a soft heart.
A big American, a true professional, a great leader, an attentive listener, a friendly colleague, and a positive-minded person.
I thought you're big. And you're big of heart, big in business. So you're my big boss.
You know, over 30 years ago, almost to the day, you hired me to work at USAPEEC, and we were both so young at the time. I would never have imagined that we would experience the kind of things we did, opening new markets for poultry and eggs.
Well, I first saw him at a conference in Baltimore, Maryland when I was working with the Foreign Ag Service. It was my first job out of college, and Jim had probably just started as president of USAPEEC at that time. Of course, it was a slimmer, darker-haired version of Jim, but still with that larger-than-life personality that he has always had. He didn't know me from Adam's house cat at the time, and it was several more years before we would officially meet when he interviewed me for my job at USAPEEC. Regardless, Jim Sumner was hard to miss, and as I heard him called many years later, the nickname Big Jim is spot on for him.
I watched Jim, when he was the president of IPC, conduct meetings with a light touch. He made sure that everyone had their say. He built consensus.
Jim, I think we've known each other for more than 2 decades. I recall in the early 2000s, you and Don Dalton, with me tagging along behind you, discussing sharing an office space. Who knew that 2 decades later, our organizations would come together and successfully collaborate to share our wonderful office facilities under the name of the Coop Group.
So I think of Jim Sumner, I think of a global statesman, a true marketer, a networker, a leader, and importantly, a friend.
I've always admired the excellent memory and recall ability that you've had over all these years and all the meetings and people and circumstances you've been involved in.
Since I knew Jim more than 30 years ago, I realized that he is a magnificent leader. He has been for USAPEEC a great ambassador all over the world.
One of my favorite stories about Jim, and as most of you know, there are a lot of stories about Jim out there that would probably make a best-selling book. But mine has to do with one of our many trips to Cologne, Germany together for the Anuga show. That year, we were staying at a hotel that was a little farther out of town than we normally would stay, and Jim and a bunch of us had stayed at a bar one night drinking some beers, and Jim decided he was going to stay a little bit longer, and he probably closed down the bar into the wee hours of the morning enjoying that German beer. Well, he decided he was going to take the train out to the hotel that night, and while Jim was on that train back to the hotel, he fell asleep, or he may have passed out, we're not sure. But he did not wake up until the train reached the end of the line, and I think one of the attendants had to wake him up. However, Jim made his way back to the hotel eventually that night, And the next morning he was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as he always is, ready to go, or at least he was bushy-tailed.
One of my first trips with you and Anne was from Seattle to Vancouver. And at that moment, while we were cruising on the ferry, I realized how much my life had changed thanks to you. What a journey it has been. From our desert safaris in Dubai to scuba diving in the Philippines, they've all been filled with happiness and laughter. Such amazing places we've traveled to, each with their own fun-filled adventures. BMW jokes in Greece, not to mention the Zeus juice. Sailing on the junk in Halong Bay, karaoke nights, and dancing whenever there was an opportunity.
The first meeting you ever took me on was in DC, and I got talked into confiscating a life-size Marilyn Monroe cutout for your bar basement at your new home.
You did such a fantastic job at USAPEEC, and you had such an impact on me, my career.
But most importantly, Jim, I want to thank you for taking my phone call. No matter where in the world you were or what time zone you were in, we always knew that you'd be there ready to assist us. I look back 30 years from the time you arrived on the job, and I see a correlation between that and a steady increase in poultry exports from the United States over the past 3 decades. I don't think that's a coincidence.
I don't know anybody who loves life as much as you do.
Happy retirement, Jim.
We wish you a long and healthy and happy retirement.
Enjoy your family, enjoy life. I can't say enjoy traveling because you've done an awful lot of that. Maybe you're going to enjoy not traveling.
And speaking of retirement, I think we determined one late night what your memoirs might one day be titled. Why did the chicken cross the globe? There are so many good stories. All you need is a good editor. Damn it, Toby. I raise my glass to you, Jim, for all the good fun, memories, and accomplishments, as well as continued blessings to you and your family. Ganbei, salud, santé, felicidades. Cheers.
Jim, congratulations on entering to retirement.
So cherish every moment and live life to the fullest.
Enjoy and share its best moments in a good company.
Congratulations, long life, and God bless you, my friend.
So congratulations, Jim.
Congratulations, Jim, on your retirement.
Have a great time in your retirement.
Just enjoy life, Jim.
Cheers.
Enjoy the next chapter.
Congrats on your retirement, Jim. And while I know you will not be too far away, probably to give me advice like a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder, just know that you will be greatly missed. And bravo on a career well done. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.
Bye, Jim.